But I did want to talk about Major League Baseball because I get it. My friends make fun of me often. You guys in the chat make fun of me often because I talk about Shohei Ohtani quite a bit. He is what I think is the greatest, or not the right word. He is the most talented person that has ever graced this earth to play baseball. We have never seen someone, in really any sport, to be honest with you, but especially baseball where there are these finite skills, we have never seen someone do what Shohei Ohtani is doing right now. And last night, he won his 4th unanimous MVP. That puts him second all-time in MVP awards, trailing only the great Barry Bonds, who had 7. He is second all-time in MVP awards. That is more than Mickey Mantle. That is more than Albert Pujols. That is more than Alex Rodriguez. That is more than Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Yogi Berra, Derek Jeter, who had 0. That's Stone's favorite guy. All these guys, Shohei Ohtani has more MVP awards than him. And what we are seeing before our eyes, if you are a baseball fan, it's incredibly annoying that he got paid $1 billion and it all got deferred to go play for the biggest market, or not the biggest team. The Yankees are still a bigger team, but the second biggest team and the biggest payroll in baseball. Undoubtedly annoying. But there is a reason why baseball, which is undoubtedly in a better spot today in terms of their market viability than they were in 2015. It's two-pronged. It is one, they had sweeping changes to the game that was being played. They had sweeping changes to the game that was being played. The pitch clock, the 3-batter rule, the Manfred runner in extra innings. All of those rules are sweeping changes and have made the game more exciting. And on top of that, they have a catalyst, a true catalyst in the form of Shohei Ohtani, who has come from Japan, has made the game global once again, although it already was global, and has entered the imagination and minds of people from around the world. And baseball, which it'll never topple football once again. It'll never topple college football or the NFL. That is long gone. But there is legitimate reason to think that this is the second biggest sport, or I guess if you count college football, is the third biggest sport in this country. And a big portion is that the greatest player that I've ever seen, the most talented player that I've ever seen play the game, is playing for one of the biggest brands. Oh, yeah, and also in New York, you have Aaron Judge, who just got his 3rd MVP, tying a myriad of first ballot inner circle Hall of Famers for 3 MVPs. And he's playing for the New York Yankees. It sucks. I get it. It's not a whole lot of fun for the guys like the Cincinnati Reds fans here in town, or the Cleveland Indians fans, Cleveland Guardians, apologies, Detroit Tigers, all those teams. It's not great, but it is putting Major League Baseball in a different stratosphere when it comes to marketability. It is rising. What's the cliche? High tides raises all ships.
Yes.
And that is exactly what's happening. And it is being performed by the catalyst that is Shohei Ohtani. When I was a kid, I never understood that why when kids got into high school, there'd be some great shortstop. And he has a cannon. But for some reason, the high school team never pitched him. God, he's a shortstop. We can't pitch him. We can't do it. You get into college, team's struggling to throw strikes, and you're like, well, we have these guys that I think they can throw strikes. I know they play center field. I know they catch. I know they play shortstop. Whatever it is, they never did that, and I never understood. There had to have been somewhere along the way in Major League Baseball guys that could play 2 ways. But for some reason, it never happened. Because they had to focus on one thing. And most of the time, it's because the game is so gosh darn hard that it takes a lot of time to devote to be perfect at one or the other, or really good at one or the other. that there just wasn't talented players enough to do both ways. And here we have a guy that has now won his 4th MVP in 5 seasons, all unanimous. And he was a top 5 vote getter in Cy Young Award one year. He's one of the hardest throwers in the league. He's one of the best base stealers in the league. And we've never seen it happen before, but there's no reason for me to believe that if he took the field, if he had to wear a glove out there and play center field, he wouldn't be one of the best center fielders in the league. So I guess you can call it glazing. I guess you can, whatever the kids say, hyping him up. I'm just calling it like I see it. And Shohei Ohtani is the most talented baseball player I've ever seen. And as a baseball fan, I absolutely adore the fact that I'm living in an era where I get to watch him play. Because growing up, when I'm studying these backs of baseball cards, and I'm reading myths about how Mickey Mantle once hit one out of Yankee Stadium, and Satchel Paige used to tell the entire outfield, hey, go in the dugout, I got this one. Or the Babe Ruth at Wrigley Field calling his shot in the 1930 World Series. I used to romanticize being able to see that kind of history. I listened to my dad talk about how great Johnny Bench and Pete Rose and Joe Morgan were. I never got to see him play. I got to see the end of Barry Bonds. I got to see the end of Sammy Sosa, who was my favorite baseball player of all time. I got to see the end of those guys, but I used to romanticize being able to see the greatest players of all time play. And here I am. We're right in the middle of watching what could go down as the greatest baseball player ever. And in fact, if you had me put hard-earned dollars on it, I would put money that when it's all said and done, he will be the greatest baseball player of all time. He won't have 760 home runs like Barry Bonds. He won't have 4,700 strikeouts like Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson, or 5,700 strikeouts like Nolan Ryan. He won't, he won't have 1,400 stolen bases like Ricky Henderson. What I anticipate he will do is he'll have more Kennesaw Mountain Landis awards on his, that's the name of the MVP trophy. He'll have more of those than any player that we've ever seen. In a time where the game is getting harder and harder to play, he's doing this. More guys throwing 100 miles an hour. I remember reading the back of a baseball card in 2006, relief pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, a name you guys have probably never heard of, Joel Zumaya. He set the then MLB record for most pitches thrown over 100 miles an hour at 36. I saw a stat yesterday that there were 5 guys in Major League Baseball that threw over 200 pitches over 100 miles an hour last year. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what we're seeing from Shohei Ohtani. And I'm delighted to continue to watch it. Stone, as someone who, you love baseball.
Yeah.
You love it. You love it dearly.
Yeah.
Are you tired of the Shohei stuff yet? I mean, I know he plays for the Dodgers, the back-to-back champions. He's now won 4 out of the last 5 MVPs, and there is a fatigue that goes to this. We've seen this in the NBA. LeBron James should have won like 12 straight MVPs, more than likely. But are you getting any fatigue of the Shohei stuff?
He's great. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. Kind of got bailed out by his buddy Yamamoto in Game 7, but that's all right. What did he hit this year? 280, you said? And Judge was like 330?
Yeah.
So you question who's better.
Shohei's probably not the best hitter in the league.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge is a better hitter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, but he's great. I'm not going to – it's unfortunate he's on the Dodgers, and he's going to probably continue to win MVP. What's really scary is that from a pitching perspective, like, wasn't that supposed to be, like, his thing? Like, obviously he could hit, but, like, he was supposed to be that guy on the mound too, and obviously he was hurt for a while, and he wasn't really fully himself. Obviously he pitched – he was big for him in the postseason, just, eating up some innings. But, this is a guy that could win the Cy Young too, right?
Yeah. If he gets the chance to win it, the one thing I want for him is I want him to win a Cy Young at some point. When he came into the league back in 2017, he foregone, I forget the exact number, but it was a lot of money which he signed to play baseball in Japan. And typically what has to happen is you have to play 6 years of professional baseball. This is why guys like Ichiro Suzuki didn't come over to Major League Baseball till he was 27. This is why guys like Yamamoto, like those guys, they typically are late. Daisuke Matsuzaka came over when he was 27. They're a little older when they enter Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani forfeited that money. He forfeited that money to come over when he was 23 years old. and he had to play on rookie contracts. To come play for the Los Angeles Angels, he made like $5 million on the opening thing, and he could have waited and made. I'll give a random number because I don't have the numbers. $50 million to go play over there in Japan. He said, no, I want to go start a legacy in MLB. And when he got here, there was reports coming out because we heard about this young Babe Ruth of Japan. And everyone gets skeptical, right? I think everyone, whenever there's glowing reports about someone's athleticism, we see this in the NFL draft all the time when people are talking about Caleb Williams being the best prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck. Whenever we see that stuff, we have criticism. We heard it with Wemby. We heard it with Wemby when he came over here. Like, this is the best young player we've seen since LeBron. It's tiring because we know that bar is so high, they're probably not going to get there. So when we hear that there's the LeBron or the Babe Ruth of Japan coming over here, reports come out, scouts, they start interviewing scouts. Hey, what do you see from Shohei Ohtani? I remember I think it was in Sporting News. Sporting News. I don't even know if that's still a publication anymore. One of the oldest sports publications in the world. Sporting News put out an article saying Shohei Ohtani is a Cy Young caliber pitcher. He's got great stuff, but he's a high school level hitter. A high school level hitter just was the first man to go 50-50. A high school level hitter just is on the doorstep of hitting 60 home runs, Shohei Ohtani. It's a little bit of hater. It's a little bit of hater. It's also harder to grade someone's hitting ability as opposed to pitching. Like, you see a dude throw 100 miles an hour with a nasty splitter and a big slider. You're like, all right, yeah, that dude can pitch in the majors. But until you see them, hit against high-level hitting, it's hard to match. And it took him some time. Like, he was Rookie of the Year, but it was, year 4? I think in the COVID season, he wasn't very good at all. So and he comes over in, 2018, 2019, 2020, and then he wins his first MVP in 2021. And the rest is history. But yeah, it would be, as a fan of his, as a fan of baseball, it'd be awesome to see that when it all comes done. 8 MVPs, 1 Cy Young, triple crown in both pitching and sorry, I get excited about this kind of stuff.